All right, what is up, y'all? First night of KB and After Hours. Jeff, Shane, and Ryan coming at you. What y'all got?
I got Ryan's crown.
Okay.
Got my Yingling because Shane stole my crown.
And y'all are together, right? In the
Oh, we are
same
together.
build?
You
Together?
could say that.
Together? Okay. Well, hey, thank y'all for jumping on here. This could be fun. Let us know if you can hear us. We think the audio is working good, but you never know with all this Facebook Live and stuff.
We're already
So,
getting complaints on our theme music.
hey, it's after hours. It's smooth jazz. We'll work on that.
It's a
Uh,
jazz shake. It's fun.
it wasn't me. Shane picked the music.
I wrote it myself.
Yeah, yeah. All right, we're gonna jump right in here. You see the three of us. Going forward, we're gonna have some other people on here with us and go around with some topics. But tonight, just us, this three. We thought it'd be fun. So here we are. You fellas ready?
Let's do it.
Yes, sir.
All right. So you see a little list on the top of the screen. We're just going to talk about a few things tonight. First thing, KB Nation and this group. It's kind of wild, kind of fun, but uh, wanted to just talk about why it got so big so fast and what we're really trying to do with it. So y'all jump off, Shane and Ryan.
Go for it, Ryan.
All right. So this all came almost a year ago. What happened? We were trying to, voice some opinions, suggestions toward the larger entity that exists, and it didn't go over too well. It kind of wasn't received, so we pretty much all got banned. So we said we'll start our own open forum where people can talk about whatever they want to, and not really have to live in that fear of if you express an opinion, you get banned for it. So that's really grown into what we have today, and I think it's a good thing. We seem like we're getting a better perspective and find out some new information that maybe people felt uncomfortable saying in other instances, and now it's really coming across pretty well for the community as a whole.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think as far as Facebook is concerned, we've had, there's a big group already existing for kayak anglers, specifically bass fishing, but you either have to be a member or it's got 40,000 members, but it's still tailored to one specific organization. So the anglers that don't fish that organization, this is kind of a good hideout.
Yeah, and I'll piggyback up what you guys said. The whole idea was, we had some opinions that weren't very popular. We wanted a place to get them out there. Uh, so the page was supposed to be an open forum. It is an open forum regarding kayak fishing, but that gets a little ugly sometimes with some of the subject matter and things people say and do. We've tried to clean some of that out, but I think we're doing a good thing. It's a place where a lot of different groups can put their information out there regarding tournaments they're having, questions they have that may not be popular with a group that's sponsored by someone. We're not connected to any kind of money or sponsor, so we can kind of say and do what we want. And I think it's been a good thing.
Yeah.
And to piggyback on that, we're going to go back and see the second thing on the list there, social justice. We're not going to talk about politics. We do like beer or whatever these guys got. But we're going to talk about some of the posts that have come up lately, the popular ones. First one, we'll try to get it to come up here. A couple weeks ago, Saturday Mail posted, "I love it. Mark my words, if KBF will not allow pros to fish if a pro wins." This was regarding Dave Lefebvre fishing that event. He ended up actually winning the event. So in the short term, it seemed like a big blow up, and a lot of people were kind of on either side of the fence. But I don't know. What do you guys think about the long term effect of that?
Oh, that's cool. I can't believe they let Dave come in there and beat all those guys, man.
I mean, I kind of have mixed feelings on it. Like, I understand, like, you want the sport to grow, so you want it to be open to everybody. And I mean, if I know that some certain person's fishing a tournament, I'm not going to stay home from it. But at the same time, I fish our local bass boat trail too. And if you have a pro card, you can't fish these local, kind of grassroots events. So I understand this is a larger event and it wasn't open, but for a pro to come in and jump in a kayak and just go out and clean house, I mean, that's kind of almost expected. Like I wasn't really surprised to see it. He's a pro and that's his home lake. I mean, if he don't know where the fish are, who's going to?
Right.
So do you think it discourages competitors if they know there's an Elite Series angler competing?
I don't know.
Does it drive them to do better and get excited that they're able to compete against someone at that level?
It discourages it at all. Like, I don't think that it's a bad thing for the kayak anglers themselves, because if you win the event, not only do you have the pride of winning the event, but you also beat a pro. So you'll have that to hang your hat on too. For the pro himself, like, I think he'd probably catch more heat on it coming from the pro side from his peers. Like, oh yeah, way to go, buddy! I'm glad you stepped out to get your big win on the kayak side.
And it seemed like guys were fired up to fish against him. Some of them.
Go ahead, Jeff.
No, I'll say it seemed like some guys were fired up to fish against him as much as they were scared to fish against him. And actually, it was a close deal. He wasn't winning after day one, I don't think.
So. No, and I mean I don't think it's a bad thing for the sport. I think that's the most controversial point is looking at his side of it, like, the money part, not necessarily the competition part on the kayak angler side. Of course, you want to go out and beat a pro. That's huge.
Yeah.
He had a lot to lose if he goes out there against a bunch of amateur kayakers on his home lake and he gets beat. He's probably got a pretty hard time coming up for him at the next pro series.
So think he'll do it again? Is he going to go to the championship? You think?
Sure, why not?
Yeah.
He's qualified.
Yeah, might as well. Whatever it's going to be, $1 million or whatever the purse is now. All right. Next thing, this was just the other day, and it was a guy posting about sandbaggers. Came off like he was whining about it. But I don't know. Is that part of the game? Is that shady to do that? I mean, what do y'all think?
I get the strategy. I mean, it's not against the rules, obviously. I mean, to me, you fish as much as you can if you're in a tournament, and you put up your best 5. If that's enough, then that's great. If it's not, whether someone sandbagged or not, it wasn't enough. So you shouldn't feel like at the end of the day, most of the time we're assuming this is an online challenge. So
right.
At the end of the day, somebody unloads 114 inches on you. If you didn't do everything you could, that's kind of on you.
And it can burn you. You can lose your phone or lose your pics, right?
Yeah.
Personally, I don't like online events anyway, but for the sandbagging thing in live events, I like when people are uploading their fish constantly. And me and one of my buddies, Garrett Campbell, we were on the KBF trail event on Gunnersville, and we went back and forth all day long, upgrading on each other. I mean, it was fun for our families to watch, being local guys here. And I think that's a lot more fun to me. I like to, have people texting me and sending me messages and stuff like, oh shit, like you got to upgrade, he just went up on you a half inch. Like that builds the excitement to me. Like if everybody just holds a fish at the end of the day, yeah, it's fine, whatever. But that's not in your head. That's not something else you have to contend with all day. And I like the pressure of that. I like going back and forth. I wish people would upload their fish, pretty regularly in live tournaments.
Yeah,
I agree with you guys.
Josh Swaney said he'd rather fish against pros than have motors in tournaments. What are your thoughts on that one?
Same.
Yeah. I don't know. We're gonna beat that dead horse in a little bit, but I don't know how much of a factor motors are anyway. When it comes down to it, I've seen a lot of the big money, and I haven't seen that be a factor yet. The big money winners. So.
I'll tell you, we've had anglers that are competing that took the sandbag route and held all their fish, and then before the end of the day, they lose their phone in the drink.
Yeah.
and don't upload those fish, there goes their tournament. So come back to get them.
All right. Next thing, talk about some tournaments, upcoming tournament talk. I can jump on and talk about the TOC real quick. I talked to Cody Prather today. I don't know how many of y'all have gone to that or are going to go to that. It's on Lake Fork every November. Uh, he's expanded his Open this year. He's going to qualify 20 guys or the top 50% from the Friday Open to get into Saturday if you're not qualified. He's also announced today it's an official Hobie Worlds qualifier, which is a big deal to a lot of people.
Awesome.
Yeah. He has a lot of great prizes. It's a good payout, and it's a national championship in its own right. Because they only take 5 guys per club or winners of large tournaments. And he even said if you're not a partner club or have an AOY deal, if you want a trail event or a big tournament somewhere, you can apply to get an invite. So check that out for sure.
What were the qualifiers for TOC?
If you're a partner
Yes.
club, they do top 5 AOY. And then if you've won a large regional or national tournament, you can apply to get qualified. I think the top 5 from like the Hobie Open, if you've won any of the KBF trail events, pretty much, stuff like that. Three Rivers Throwdown, any of those big tournaments, you can get in. I think even if you win a raffle tournament, you can get in. I'm not sure how that goes.
Okay. No online heroes though, huh?
Yeah. No online tournaments. No.
Sorry, Shane. RIP.
Now, Shane, you're going to end at the bend. Yeah?
We've got one coming up here on. We're fishing on Chickamauga, Shane and I, this weekend, but it's Fishing for Soldiers. It's a big benefit tournament that the guys out of Knoxville run, and it's like 6 lakes, the surrounding area. You can fish any of them. You just have to be at the check-in on Saturday afternoon. But it's a great charity event, and Frontier Outdoors is putting up a 2019 Outback, and I think second place is $1,500 or something guaranteed. So. I mean, it's a pretty good little tournament for if anybody has a free weekend in the East Tennessee, North Georgia, North Alabama area.
Nice.
And that's going to be kayaks, and they've got a division for power boats too, right?
Correct. Yeah. And then I know AJ and Jay, they're running their tournament up on Cave Run. I think it's their season finale up there. That's going to be a good tournament. I know. I think I saw Christine up there slaying muskie already. She's already got a pattern. Watch out.
Muskie bite's pretty fire, so it should be a good bass tournament.
Yeah. What else is there? Gate City.
Apparently.
Yeah. So Gate City. I know. I talked to Eric Siddiqui earlier this week. He's heading out there. He's got his eyes on the prize, about to lock down that AOY if he can bump Cody out of the way. I think the Susky is going to be this weekend, possibly, depending on what levels. I think right now it's a go. So that'll be another good tournament.
The last of KBF, the trail is this weekend, right? I don't think there's anything after these two.
I think that's it.
So the next one will be the 100 and the trail championship.
Yep. Pretty much, if you're going to get qualified, you got to do it right now. I think this online's the last one to qualify. Poor little old Dave sitting at home sweating. He better get his tail in gear. We ain't gonna see him in Shreveport.
He said he'd come over and be our DD though. So
yeah. Hey, all right. Never mind that. Sold. Cancel all the tournaments.
What about next year? I mean, Shane, what have you heard about KBF changes and stuff they're doing next year?
It sounds pretty good. I don't think we have anything concrete yet, but I know they've mentioned kind of going into more of a regional series. So instead of having just an open trail series all over the country, it's going to be more localized. So you'll have a set, series, 6-event series, 8-event series, whatever it is, in each individual region, and that would lead to a regional championship, and then I assume a national championship from there. So if that's the case, that should be pretty cool. It'll give you something to kind of follow along. And this is maybe a good segue into the next topic, but that's where a lot of us kind of cut our teeth is fishing KBS, those old, for the most part, centralized in the Southeast, but being able to hop with the same group of guys all across the Southeast, hitting these different events. It was such a good time. So hopefully it's kind of reminiscent of that.
Right. I know the Midwest series over towards me is looking to expand. It was a good series last year. I fished it. they're looking to maybe drop into Oklahoma and Arkansas, that north end. Um, Great series, some really good sticks out that way. So it's something else you can follow regionally instead of having to travel all over across the country. So it's something you guys want to look at if you live over that way. And Ryan, you got some stuff happening in the south, maybe, yeah?
Yeah, so I think there's going to be. I mean, as we talked about, I think KBF is probably going to regionalize. There's also a few kind of independent tournaments that are popping up. I mean, we saw last year, Three Rivers Throwdown. That's a great event if you like fishing moving water, and it's a great time in South Georgia chasing shoal bass. I don't know what the exact timing is going to be this year, but last year it was kind of pre-spawn time, and there were some really good fish caught. We're also looking. We got a couple of surprise events coming that are probably going to be later in the year on Chickamauga and Gunnersville, but keep an eye on those because they're shaping up to be pretty good ones. We've got funding in place for them, so there'll be some big announcements coming out at the first of the year.
Nice. And Shane already touched on it, but recently we saw KBS went under. It's kind of been looking that way for a little bit.
Yeah.
A lot of people made jokes about it, but really it's kind of a sad deal. I enjoyed fishing it when it was around. Met a lot of good friends out there. I know you guys have some stories. I don't know if you want to get into that. It is after hours.
That was fun, man.
We got a lot of stories, but I don't know if we're going to get into all that. But, yeah, KBS was actually – that's where I met Ryan Lambert, where I met a lot of these guys. Well, I won't name all the names, but that was the first major kind of national trail that I fished. It was a blast. Like I said, the coolest thing was being able to go. You go down in Florida, fish in Astor, wherever, St. Johns River, and you jump over to Alabama, go up to Kentucky. They had some events in Texas, so it kept us on the road. But it was, for the most part, you had a core group of guys that fished that first and second year. And we still keep in contact with just about everybody from that trail.
It was awesome. I mean, that was the first big national trail, like you said. And I mean, I remember everybody from around here, Nick Brown, Cameron Gatlin, like we were hyped. I mean, everybody took off work for a week and ran off to Florida, and we got down there and it was 30 degrees and the fish wouldn't bite. But but I mean, the tournament was terrible. But the after party, I mean, Robert, Jameson, Christina, Stacy, like that. I mean, it was wild. It was a good time. And like I said, I mean, that was like a family, and it felt good. Everybody's having fun. We watched it, kind of progress through to the Classic. Year 2, it started to fall off a little bit, and year 3, it fell off more, and now this happened.
Well, it sounds like.
I don't know how much we want to dive into it, but having such a fun trail that everyone was so invested in, how does it get to be at this point where you've got such limited participation in this last year? I think they quit all the actual live events and just kind of piggybacked on local trails. But from that point, where we were all down there and driving all over the country, 60, 70 of us, to now,
I really think that we talked about this earlier today, but I think that the front end marketing was very heavy on pushing big numbers, and some fine print things that may not have came in. And in their defense, I mean, it was in the fine print, like it was based on so many. So you expected it to be bigger payouts and constantly growing. And as much as I hate to give Robert Field credit for anything, dude, he made it fun. Like just ragging him, like having a good time. Like, I mean, that was fun. That was a lot of fun. So I really think he played a big part in it.
Because on the way down there, if you remember, Ryan, driving down to Florida to Astor to fish that St. John's tournament, the very first one, there was a lot of buzz about what the potential payout would be, how many anglers were going to be there. Talk about what the championship would look like later that year and what some of the other open events would be like as far as size and payout. It just didn't get there. I don't know if that drew a lot of us in there and kind of held us for a season or two, but
do you think that Do you think it got too big too fast? You know, it was at 6 events, and then it all of a sudden it went regionally, and there were too many. I mean, did it spread too thin, or was it just a marketing deal, or what?
Oh, when they kind of broke off into the
Right,
North and South and all that.
right.
I
I
think
don't know.
I think that's a problem in a lot of things. Like I think if you take events that people are really intent on attending, say you have 8 events, and then you go to 65 events, like that's going to spread the people more thin. They're not going to be as concerned with making a tournament, so that's going to hurt your overall participation. I
Yeah.
think. I mean, as far as an average goes, people feel like they can't keep up if it's this huge trail with 60 something events. I mean, there's not many people other than Siddiqui that can make all 60 events.
Right. Would you rather have 30 guys at 60 events or 70 at 30 or 40 events? You know what I mean? Or 20 events.
30 or
So
40. Yeah.
yeah, so you'd
Yeah.
rather have the bigger turnout.
That's
I think.
People as much as anything. I mean, I'm definitely not the best the best angler probably on this phone call, but you know, like interacting with the people and having a good time, like that's I mean, that's as big a part as going to these tournaments as anything else. It's just hanging out, getting to see everybody, you know,
Yeah.
building relationships and making crazy stories happen. That's what it's all about.
Well, let's jump
Yeah.
in here and touch on this next thing. Tournament software. That's been a hot topic. Caused a lot of hurt feelings and upset people. Uh, why is that? I mean, there's several options out there. I'm a Tourney X fan. You guys have used Tourney X. Probably iAngler also. iCatch is in there, and you know it's caught a lot of heat for being trash. I mean, what's the deal there? Where are we going with that? There's probably new ones coming out we don't even know about.
Yeah. We used iAngler for KBS. That was the first kind of software like that that we ever used, and then transitioned over with KBF.
Right.
You know, Dwayne's a good friend of mine. I think he's a good friend of a lot of kayak anglers, and we developed, except, well, not Ryan, but the other two of us.
Yeah.
But you develop that kind of personal relationship with him, and you know how much time he spent in it, how much effort goes into keeping a program like that and software going, knowing that he kayak fishes himself, or says he does. I haven't actually seen it, but I've heard.
He just won a tournament now. Don't hate.
I think, yeah, he won that. He won that tournament a couple weekends ago.
Yeah.
Last weekend, whenever I was on a Sabine getting destroyed.
Are you gonna fish on a Sabine?
Not a bunch of flounder and redfish. That's about it.
Hey, you can eat good though.
So,
Mhm.
well, I'll be
So,
curious to see where it ends
on
up.
it, I've used iAngler and I've not had any trouble at all. I think iAngler is a great platform. I've used Tourney X in probably 90% of the tournaments that I fished, and it's been great. I know Dwayne's made constant upgrades to keep up with everything, and you know, continue to push the platform, continue to push the app. So I'm not 100% clear. I mean, obviously, I don't have the insider details, but I don't know what's really making the push toward a different system that you know that we haven't used before. But I mean, I guess we're all going to find out at the national championship.
Right.
And
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Is it? Do you think there'd be this much pushback if KBF said, "Hey, we're going to try iAngler next year for whatever reason, or we're going to transition or try some other ones"?
I don't think it would be that big of a pushback on iAngler because iAngler's already proven.
Yeah,
We already see that it's worked. People are comfortable with it. You know, like it's not something new that's just being pulled in to.
I think there might be. I mean, there's a lot of emotional connection to Dwayne and Tourney X, and he's really worked with a lot of the local clubs. But a lot of guys know Michael Bishop and really like him too. He's a good man and a good guy. I just think
Yeah.
the way it was handled was the problem. Probably not the well, maybe the service. iCatch is not proven and has a lot of problems, obviously, and they're working on that. But with iAngler and Tourney X, there still would have been a pushback, but probably not as much. You know what I mean? Not as
Yeah.
much or as harsh anyway. Well, let's jump on down and beat a dead horse. We're going to show you. Somebody posted that earlier in the week. Let's learn how to beat a dead horse. So, real quick,
Yeah.
motor's a factor. Good in tournaments. Yes, no. What do you think? That horse has been beat up and down and all over.
To the bones.
Yeah. Big deal, not a big deal.
Shane, you got a Torpedo, don't you?
I never used a motor on a kayak.
You use it on your truck.
Yeah. No winch. I don't have a hard opinion on this, or even a soft one for that matter. But
Oh my.
a lot of guys are totally against. A lot of them are totally for it. I feel just comfortable with the pedal kayak, as I'm sure someone would with a motor. I don't think there's a big jump between those two. I think the bigger jump is the guys that actually have to paddle, especially some kayaks. Yeah. Anyway, we won't go into those, but pedaling is an advantage over paddling, but I don't see that big a difference, big of a jump from pedaling to motors. So.
Right. My deal is I like weather and conditions being a factor and distance. When you add that motor in there, it allows people to take that out almost. Like, hey, I can go a couple miles that I couldn't before. Maybe they could, I don't know, but I like that factor in there. But either way, whatever. I'll fish in a tournament with people with motors. It doesn't intimidate or run me off or anything. I'm sure it doesn't most people.
I'm not against it, but I mean, I've got a motor sitting in the garage 20 feet over there, and I've put it on my kayak probably 4 times.
Yeah.
I find that I have a lot less control over the boat with a motor versus pedals, especially in the wind. If I'm trying to sit out in deep water, I can take 2 pedal strokes and stay in the same spot, or I can sit and mess with a freaking trolling motor back and forth trying to maintain position. I mean, if you have a bow mount trolling motor with spot lock, obviously that's a huge advantage over your traditional trolling motor. But I don't see it being that big of a factor myself.
Well, that horse is dead.
David Cottrell, he just said he loves his Torpedo, but obviously it doesn't help you catch more fish.
Exactly.
So.
Well, let's jump on down. We can touch on cheaters real quick and go to the comments, but it's seemed like a rash this year of people getting caught doing dumb stuff. Some of them gotten burned. We burned them on KBN. It got a little out of hand a few times. But what do y'all think? Should that happen? Should they be publicly known like that? And
tar and feather them, yeah. Why not?
Tar and feather them.
Why keep it a secret? I mean, what's the point of like letting somebody save face on treating them like they're, protected over the people that they steal their money every week?
That's right. And I think it helps the trails they may go to, even the locals, they can figure out, oh, we don't want that person coming here by knowing that name. Now, there's a way to do it right and a way to, go off the deep end with some Photoshop and stuff. But anyway.
Wait a minute.
I think exposing those names and getting it out there is a good thing. Anyway, y'all want to jump into the
update on the most recent cheating? But I think we're going to wait until there's a formal announcement.
Yeah, we've heard some things, and they've done some good things. It sounds like, done the due diligence and got it done. Shane, you've been reading the comments. It looks like you want to jump in there and go back and forth with some of what they've been saying.
They're coming in fast and furious. Most of them just talking.
Get over here and look. We getting any hate? What we got?
With kayak fishing especially, there's not a whole lot to gain. I mean, most of these tournaments we fish, first place is barely covering their entry fee, and pocketing a couple $100. So for someone to go through the trouble of mutilating a fish or purposely duplicating pictures, whatever it is, to get that one up, I mean, I don't see a reason to kind of protect them or save face.
Right. Ben Rayfield just commented on here, don't burn them until it's been proven, and that's a good point. We don't want to roast them out there Kavanaugh style when nothing's been proven.
Yeah, but define proven. Like, do we have the proof, or has it been proven in a court of a tournament trail, or what's
KV is the judge and jury, baby.
Yeah, we'll put a poll up. We'll put a poll up there with that'll be it.
10 pounds of crayfish down their pants. That sounds like a reward, not a.
Yeah. Are they? Yeah. What are we talking? Boiled or what?
Anything else out there?
What all cheating have we had in kayak fishing the last few years? We had We had the hog trough, cutting the tails, a few different duplication submissions.
We've had tail cutting. We've had scale scraping.
We had a guy in Arkansas say he took a fish from a bass boat and said he needed to take a picture for biology class. What is that?
That's right. That one's pretty smooth.
Works like a charm.
Yeah.
Wow. So, yeah.
All right. Any comments we need to get back on over here?
I mean, I'll be honest. I can't keep up with them, man.
They're flying in. Looks like we had a bunch of viewers. It's been a good time.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys. I let Shane have my laptop, and this is what happens.
I got you. I'm trying to follow.
Literally
here.
sitting in the room.
Laptop.
I can't get to my comments.
There's a lot of catfish fry, tar and feather, roast them and post them, hung in public on KBN. A lot of solid suggestions on how to handle cheaters in this industry.
Well, the good thing is the more it gets exposed and people figure it out, the least likely they'll be to do it if they're thinking they're going to get burnt like that. You know, you would think it'd be a deterrent.
There were some comments on going back to iCatch and Tourney X, kind of some guys mentioning how it was handled at Toledo Bend last year. I wasn't there. I don't think either of you were there, but we've kind of heard stories about how that went down, and maybe that could have been handled better and presented to the public in a more positive light.
Yeah, definitely.
But there was uproar, and then it kind of died down, and the national championship went super smooth. There was no issues with that entire event from start to finish. It was a good time. But then we're kind of diving back into it at the end of this season. So Mark says, what would you guys consider the top tournaments to fish? I assume he's talking about 2019.
There's still a lot to come out. I mean, we've heard some things that we don't even want to comment on, but there's a lot still coming out that we can, that guys are going to want to fish. So, how do you really determine that yet until all the schedules drop?
Yeah, we'll have to probably touch back on that one when we've got some more concrete answers. There's some new events hopefully popping up. So when we get more information or get the okay to drop that, we'll spill that here and kind of outline what our 2019 is going to look like.
Preliminary. I mean, 3 events I always try to hit personally are the National Championship, Three Rivers Throwdown, and the Hobie Bass Open. Those are 3 that are always a good time. You get to see a lot of people from all over the country. And in my opinion, those are can't miss. So we'll see if 2019 brings any changes to that. But those are 3 that are on the list right now for sure.
And if I could plug one for you guys,
Trey Johnson has a question for Ryan specifically.
Oh,
he wants to know if it hurt when you fell from heaven.
Oh, Trey's sweet. Hey, I just hope he likes that Slayer XC. That's all I'm worried about. I can't wait to hear his complaints on that.
Hey, and to jump back in on those tournaments, let me jump in on that tournament real quick. There's one over here called the Beavers Bend Classic on Broken Bow. If any of you Southeast guys want to make a trip, it's a huge tournament, a lot of prizes. So I recommend 19 if you can make that. It's in the spring to try to get over here.
What are some of the numbers or prizes that you guys see over there?
Last year we had I think 125 anglers. I think everybody left with something. Guillermo Gonzalez won it. It was $5,000 to the. Hey, we're back in. We're good. We had a little hiccup there, but we're good.
Ryan needs to get back in.
Yeah, here he comes.
You want to explain what we deal with?
Anyway, so talking about the payout, it was $5,000 to first last year, a Hobie to second, a Hobie to big bass, a Jackson raffled off. They were giving out depth finders just in the raffle, so it's a good tournament.
Is this the tournament? That's the tournament Scotch wins an Outback at every year, time, right?
Including this last one.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah,
I rode one of those. I've been in that Outback.
Yeah, it's a charity tournament. It's a good time. But anyway.
Yeah, Dwayne said we had to put another 25 cents in, keep this thing going.
We did.
We ran out of minutes. We had to get our minutes re-up.
Dwayne who? Which Dwayne?
Wale.
Dwayne Wally. Okay, I know. I remember him.
What's the other Dwayne? Taft?
Yeah, Taft, old bootleg jackhammer guy.
We had talked about maybe doing a kind of a boondoggle fun tournament for KBN. Jeffrey, what do you think the odds are we fire something like that off next season?
I'd be all over that. You know, we need to lock down a location. We could throw a little tournament in there with it, but mainly just have a fun weekend. Talking about the group as a whole and what we've been doing, this is supposed to be fun. So tournament weekends, they need to be fun. And even if it's not a tournament, just get together and meet a bunch of guys and hang out. It'd be fun. You know, it'd be a blast.
Well, I mean, I know we like having fun, but everybody likes fishing for some money too. So what if we did like we had, a boondoggle hangout, some entertainment, do like a fun division, then maybe, I don't know, like a high stakes division, like maybe $100-$150 entry fee. Whoever wants to jump in on it.
A fun division, a sort of fun division, and then cutthroat. Is that what we're going to do?
Yeah.
Fun division, guys that don't feel like they can compete with everyone else, or?
And then a pro division.
Oh, and then the pros.
Baby.
The feed braid down here.
We're actually going to get the BASS elite guys.
All of them.
Because they ain't got nothing going on now. So
the elite series guys coming in.
Yeah, that'd be fun. And we've been talking about that, so we'd like to pull that off. That'd be great.
I think it'd be a really, really good time. I think we're kind of missing that. I know they used to do a boondoggle, maybe they still do, but it was kind of on the coast. That was a pretty successful time. They had some prizes and stuff they gave away, and just a huge hangout, for the weekend. So we could put a little competitive aspect on it since we're bass fishermen, but kind of a focus on getting able to hang out with everybody in person. And if there's anyone that wanted to have a conversation with some of these other guys in person,
conversate them up.
Yeah.
Yeah, ain't nobody. Yeah.
We'll sell tickets.
We'll put a little ring up in the middle of the campsite. We can do all that.
Yeah.
We'll make it fun. Fair, and we're all elite series guys now.
That's
everybody fishing is elite level right now.
The only person I heard that got an elite invite was Jim Clark.
He'll be there. I think Rock Lee said he got the text message today.
Oh no, he didn't. He's still on Ike's live feed right now. He ain't got that text message. He ain't put his phone down about 14 hours.
Well, Abel doesn't know what a boondoggle is. They don't have those in California.
Nah, he's out there on the wrong coast. He don't know what's up out there.
What do they have out there? What is that? Tell me. No.
They do a boondoggle at every single tournament they have.
They boondoggling the heck out of each other.
They call it something. They don't doggle their boons, but they call it something else, I'm sure.
Camping trips, I think. Ain't that it?
They just say camping trip.
Yeah.
Big giant camping trip. That's all we're talking about.
I've seen videos. I know they're out there boondoggling. I've seen them.
Oh, they're out there doggling.
Hey,
Cody,
for real.
Boondoggling everybody he can get his hands on.
Spring or fall for it, or middle of summer.
Fall, I would say, or maybe closer to the winter time. Spring's always just so crammed with events already.
Yeah.
Plus, boat traffic is kind of thick. Once we get into hunting season, it kind of thins out. It'd be good for a bunch of kayakers.
I think right in the middle of duck season. The closer you can get to decoys, the better.
Tony said they still do a boondoggle, a bunch of hippies, but
Bunch of hippies.
there's
We
not a bass centric boondoggle.
Call it something else. Y'all come up with something else. I know you fellas out there. Keep it clean though.
Keep it clean, of course. Always.
Put that in quotations.
Yeah. All right. Anything else? We trying to get out of here?
Whose cat is that behind you, Shane? Can we talk about that for a second?
I think his name's Frank.
Oh my goodness. Winky.
That's Jim Clark's. You're not gonna believe this, but one of his eyes are artificial.
Which one?
I don't know.
That's crazy.
That one that's got all the black, I'm guessing. I think it's just not there, but that's his buddy. I think that's one of the kittens that he rescued at one of the kayak tournaments years back. I don't know what Ryan's got.
It's art. Google it.
I've never heard of it. Boondoggle.
I've got a beautiful wall. That's all I got back here.
Sorry, man.
Yeah.
Hey, you're going to get some artistic backdrops in Arkansas soon. I heard 2022 they're dropping.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Here's all I got. I'll throw it in there.
Hit it.
Uh-oh.
It's
Don't
bad.
do it
It's
again.
crazy.
Okay.
I've
Yeah.
seen some of them Arkansas pics already. I don't know if I can handle any more.
No catfish. Nothing like that. There we go. KBN back there.
An enigma.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
What we got in the comments, Shane? Read my laptop to me.
Oh, we got a smiley face from Mrs. Malott.
Oh,
Who?
she in the back.
I'm not-
She in the back trolling.
She's back. Uh-oh.
Joey Randall says, "Show me some boobies." I think that's directed at Ryan.
I
Don't
don't
do
have
it.
any on me. Well, I do, but nobody wants to see those.
Oh, it just went blank. Live over here.
Nah, we're back. Don't even worry about it. We're good.
Oh, wow.
Don't even worry. But that may be our cue to cut her down and get out of here. What do you think? We're back
I'm
up.
sure
We're good. Everybody bailed.
I don't think we're back, but
We're good.
Yeah.
It's on delay.
all right.
Let's go. Yeah, there it is. I hit something with my mouse. I got all excited. My bad.
Come on, man.
I'm doing a horrible job producing this.
Something with your mouse. We can't be doing that.
Hey, man. It's Arkansas.
Yeah.
Anyway, hey, we're going to have a bunch of good people on here in the coming episodes. I don't know how often we're going to do this in the off season.
We got plenty of people to talk and that want to talk. We're lining them up. So we'll get some guys from KBF. We'll get Wayne Wally. We'll get
Possibly AJ McWhirter's on.
He might show up. He might show up.
Yeah, Chase Tanner wants to roll up here with talk about something.
No.
Yeah. Hey, shout
Maybe
out
we'll get the,
shout out to Chase Tanner for the cover art. You know, he's the master of the Photoshop. So
That's off to Chase.
yeah.
Right on. Maybe we'll get the Yakabas AOI on here after their next event.
Ooh.
Do that.
Maybe.
Let's get that dude that won that Ranger out there. I heard he's a stick.
Yeah, Jacob. Man, good Lord. So the dude that won the KBF Clear Lake event turned around and won FLW event down there on the Delta and won a freaking Ranger boat this past weekend, man.
He's cleaned up, man. He knows where the big fish are in Cali.
That is solid. Baron, we don't have Ryan, you have a hot tub? I don't know. I assume we'd be in it right now if you had one.
Tub, y'all want to go get in that?
That's not too bad. We might fire that out there a little bit.
Yeah. Got a surprise for you.
All right, y'all. Well, hey, let's get out of here. We'll do it again here soon. And y'all, good luck in your tournament this weekend, huh?
Appreciate it.
All right, buddy.
Thank y'all, everybody.
See y'all.
We're gone.